Hello and welcome. You are seeing a black screen because I don't know what's going to happen when I click this button. Ah, that's what's going to happen. Is this going to be the right one? This is going to be the right one. So yeah, welcome. Welcome. It's been a while. I've been in. I don't know. It's been hard to keep up with everything. But on the weekend, I finally had a chance to update stuff, and yeah, a bunch of nerds. Um, so Aster's here. He's busy.
Hello.
Hi, Aster. He's busy compiling some slides on tournament rankings and stuff to show top tens and the notoriety of I forget the teams. I know the team name. It's the Viffers, but this is my lame attempt to let people play more diamond tournaments to try and see if we can stop the unstoppable value city Viffers, which if you haven't been paying attention, is this team, who is on a fairly, I don't know, unprecedented streak, I guess. This player is very, very good. Break up the Viffers, yes. Uh, if they were, it'd be like the combination of the Yankees and the LA Dodgers and who else is like part of the evil empire. So yeah, not like nothing. Uh, they're just a really good player. um, so uh, I've gone and apparently without much effort, I've gone and qualified for a bunch of PTCSs, which we should find more information about. Um, excuse me, Thursday, but I don't know where Mr. Jeff LTN is in terms of. I think to see how dominant he is. I remember looking at this earlier. This isn't even funny. Um, Look at the points here. So he has 299 more points than second place. So this is like absolutely uh, absurd. Um, so like if we were gonna look at like I don't know like silver, if we were gonna look at silver, let's see like how the distribution of rankings of rankings are. Um, if it loads, is it gonna load? Oh no, because I didn't pick the selection. Um, so yeah, so like Robert Cat is doing really well in silver, but that's like what is that? 132. So it's like less than half. 16 more played in silver. Yeah, so these are just like obnoxious numbers. This is like dedication. Gold, the Staten Island Wild Turkeys is over Waz's team, and then Waz is over Dan John's team. But like, yeah, that I could maybe see like the Draft Weekly. I would imagine they would have a bit bigger than this. Oh no! Wow, Draft Weekly. It's head to head with Debrecen Giants TTC and the New Orleans Crescents. What about Draft Daily? I haven't looked at all these. So yeah, so Con is absolutely crushing the draft dailies. And then we can see where I am. I'm all the way down here. I've been pitiful in the perfect drafts, but I have been using the perfect drafts to generate data for a model, and Aster has been helping. We decided this morning, or not this morning, but we decided to kind of go through and look at, how does perfect draft data compare um, to actual like tournament format data. And yeah, so I can kind of go back to that. So this is. Well, that was unexpected. Oh, da, 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 da.
Mic
Yes.
on. Mic
Shoot.
feedback
So,
on. Charging battery.
basically, uh, the update, if you've seen how I've formatted the sheet, is I've decided to attempt to do very very poor, very silly, charging the battery. Yeah, that's what happened. Who she is? Sorry, I don't understand. Uh, Catcher modeling. So I've gone ahead and basically using kind of the WOBA run coefficients, I've gone ahead and modeled, the relationship between catcher ability and CRA with a solid zero point zero 0.02, with a solid zero point zero 0.02 R squared. Catcher arm for stolen base attempts with a solid zero point zero 0.06 R squared, and catcher arm with a runner throwout percentage for 10 uh, whatever R squared of 0.10. So this is like highly accurate stuff here. And then similarly, I've done like modeling for a bunch of the other positions. For like the middle infield, I'm modeling the error and turn double play, and trying to calculate the number of plays made. And so something you'll notice is that apparently assists and errors decrease the number of plays made, um, which doesn't make any sense. So this is what I'm saying when this is terrible diamond modeling. I wouldn't recommend this, but it does give us some numbers, and that's all we kind of want in terms of um, you know trying to evaluate cards and stuff. So um, Aster, are you there? No, you are not there. I lost your audio. Are you talking? Did I stop talking? Can anyone hear me? Hello? Have I just been talking to myself? You can hear me? Okay, hold on. Aster can't hear me. Hello? Oh, I know what's up. Okay. Can we get a professional in here? When is Extra going to talk? If I do this. Good question, MDub. Can we? To be fair. Uh-oh. This is getting to a spicy chat now. Let's see. Let's jump back in here. Let's jump. Voice. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? What is going on? Hold on.
Mic off. Mic on.
Hello?
X now?
Hello?
Mic
Where'd you
on.
go?
Mic feedback on. Charging battery.
I don't know what's happening. We need a professional in here. As one of the voices in his head, I can confirm. Okay, we should be back. Can I get a non-sarcastic yes in the chat? Can I get a semi-sarcastic yes in the chat? Okay, good. Okay. Um, feedback is on the battery is charging. Pretty straightforward. But non-sarcastic yes, yes, yes. Okay. Uh, what did I miss? Apparently, I don't know. My headset died, and uh, this is very. This is a very complicated setup we have here. Are you there still? Hello, Aster?
I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, what do we want to talk about? Um,
Well, let me hold off on trying to get the slides ready, and I can do that a little bit as we're going. But so, which um, which version of the model is this that you're showing the
okay,
PD
so
data?
this is not. This is the daily diamond data, but we can go
Okay, this is
we can go to the PD data because the PD data is a little bit more. PD data is a little has a little bit more, a few more data points. I think.
okay. Come back to
This
this.
one. Here we go. So yeah, so another thing that I kind of took from the other person who releases the sheet, Mr. Kidneys, is this ability to kind of slice and dice, overalls, card restrictions. And so one thing that if we want to be looking at, if we want to be looking at diamond and an iron floor, and there's no card restrictions, all you'd have to do is this, and then you come back here and you kind of just refresh, and you get projections. If they're good, if they're bad, who knows? Personally, I feel like in the last like week or so they've worked out pretty well, but um, in terms of like the relationship between defense and offense. So this is basically the catcher's defensive value, the WRAA based on the run environment, VR, VL, and then this is based on the ratio of left-handed and right-handed starting pitchers. So anyone who plays diamond, I don't know, Ernie Lombardi, he got pretty lambasted when he came out, I think. But I don't know. My model says he's good. Or we could take a look at the card. I'm not that
Yeah, might as
familiar
well.
with him. Does anyone in chat have a Ernie Lombardi and are running them in diamond tournaments? Raise your hand. I'm guessing that's a no one. So, who's rich enough to play diamond? This is what I'm telling you. It's not like, look at this. You can get this card for 75k. But yeah, I guess the catcher arm probably does a lot. But in terms of batting, I think post 515, are they all pulled? I think they must be all pulled.
Oh yeah, that was a card that was in packs a while ago.
Yeah.
But
In ge- in
yeah,
ge-
I mean this is not a must-have card in I don't think in any format. But it's an interesting bat. I think the farther you go back, there's some if you go really far back in history, the catcher ability really starts to weaken in value, and then his problem is the craziness of the splits. Um, you know, the BAPIP is great the left, but then the the eye is terrible, and then he's kind of mediocre versus both against righties. I don't know. This isn't a card I would look to play, and especially given that this is we're talking about Diamond Cap. I think there's a lot of gold catchers that are just as good or better. That'll save you some points.
Yeah,
So you know,
the future legend Andy Rodriguez is probably better. I think this is the model in its naivety is overvaluating Chris Hoyles' catcher ability. Uh, and then you got Deacon White. Um,
yeah, Endy is the guy that I've been going with.
yeah, like I think in general, like he's probably for a value and a cap. I think he's definitely uh, he's fairly balanced in terms of it's fairly balanced in terms of his splits and whatnot. Because even Hoyles, I think it's evaluating is like there's a break point somewhere. I'm guessing in like his VL profile that it just really likes a lot. Um, so yeah, moving to kind of first base. First base, I first base defensive modeling is just kind of ridiculous. I don't really put much value in it. So most of this is just like a tuned down bat. But yeah, I don't know. People play James Wood at first. I don't have a James Wood, so I don't know. But
I don't. So I, you could, but I just don't know who you're. Yeah, I don't know who you're trying to squeeze in as like another outfielder when there's a lot of really good, diamond first base bats. That you can, play. Buck Leonard or Thames or um, really any of those guys I like. A lot of people have York, who's fallen off a decent amount, but still he's a little bit of a savings cap wise. Um,
so I think my batting model gets broken by this card because of this ridiculous BABIP. The over 100 Galarraga, Andres Galarraga, um, with zero I. It's really leaning into the post 515 run environment. Um, if anyone is like pulling gold data and people are running Galarraga, I'd be kind of curious if my model is accurate. Uh, um, let's look at this Thames. Um, if my client doesn't crash. I think with Thames, it's the reverse splits that's attractive, I guess. I guess cards historically that have reverse splits have done fairly well, I would say.
yeah, I've been very happy with this card
Uh,
because he has reverse splits, but it's not like he's bad versus right-handed pitchers.
right,
Um,
right, yeah. It's not severe.
right.
It's just a little odd. So yeah, moving around. Volpe, the PTCS two Hornsby. I didn't win one. I think you won a couple.
I only won one Hornsby.
Oh, okay.
I won two of the best card that Perfect Team has ever produced in Cal Ripken.
The the goat Cal Ripken.
Yes.
Um, so this card doesn't. Someone bought it. You're welcome. Uh, so yeah. So I don't know. I think people were not happy with this card when it first came out, but I guess in like certain ways it has legs.
Yeah. I think I've played it in Open Diamond, but I don't think in a Diamond Cap I'd be likely to play this card. Um,
You're more likely to play Volpe, I would imagine.
yeah. Volpe's another guy with reverse splits that I'm pretty comfortable in cap format, obviously running it both ways. I mean, the defense is a little weaker than Hornsby, but its second base is not terrible for Diamond.
Yeah, and the base running is there, so
Yeah.
he's gonna be good for that. An open diamond, I have never beaten Vifers. So yeah, continuing along. Apparently, Tony Perez should play third base. That's kind of interesting. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think you have some options at third base that are not that
oh, his
far off.
third base profile isn't that bad actually. Okay, I was a little. I've been playing this card in league, and I just kind of I pulled him, and then I just put him in like league team, and I just kind of went to sleep. But yeah, that 77 for third base defense. That's pretty solid.
Yeah,
And again, that profile is like like the AVK, low AVK. I forget with 515 did K rate go up or go down? I forget. I thought it went up, right?
K rate they also brought down
Oh,
in
okay.
tournaments, um,
Okay.
and this is 1984 settings, so AVK strikeout rate is going to go down even more, I think. Um, can we look at the 1984 data that we have to see what the K rate looks like?
Oh yeah. Sure. Let's switch this over. Let's switch this over to not that, not that. Where is this? Here we go. Um, so this was uh, the K rate here is 14%, and if I go and I take it from the perfect draft data, the K rate is 18.47. So if I kind of paste this down here like that, uh,
Okay,
convert.
yeah, so that's pretty depressed from modern.
Uh,
Walk rates up, runs rates around the same.
Man, K rate is still, or not K rate, stolen base rate. Uh, so yeah, 1984. 1984 is in the power era, right?
Uh, 1984 is in the defense era, technically.
Yeah. Uh, hold on. I don't know how to moderate Mr. MW. I can ban him. Oh, I can time him out. Maybe I'll time him out. You've been timed out, sir. Eight messages were deleted. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Can you now untime him out? Just like
I,
make it a warning?
I don't. I think so. There we go.
Okay. Let that serve as a warning to you.
I don't. We need more professionals in here. What were we talking about? Okay, so
Uh, yeah, so that's interesting, to just to see, because right now we have more, perfect draft data to kind of work from, to kind of, to that I think makes the model, function more effectively. But it's important to recognize that what the Diamond Cap specific model is using is the actual run environment, which is fairly different, um, uh, in terms of the K rate and walk rate. The home run rate's not that different. The overall run environment's a little bit different. It's interesting that the BAPIP is that different. I'm surprised, given um, I wouldn't have thought that 1984 would that be that big of a difference in BAPIP.
I can pull up the pre 1984 data. Just a moment, since I haven't been diligent as for pulling data other than the whatever 65 perfect draft data or tournaments that I've entered. It got to a bit of a slog. It got to a bit of a slog the by the end of PTCS one. So this is not exactly the same. Oh wow, yeah, BABIP is up. So if we come back here and we do this and we do that, this is, you know, pre 515. No, that's not what I wanted to do. So you can kind of see K rate slightly down, walk rate about the same, home run rate surprisingly about the same, I guess.
So the backup went up from 248 to 260 with the changes in this historical error. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that brought up the run environment slightly. So
Yeah.
and yeah, the ERA.
Okay.
And even
That's
this,
interesting. That had less of an impact in 1984 than it did in modern.
that is pretty interesting. I wonder if that means like, you know, all the data we had pre 515, if that'd be still useful in certain level of tournaments.
Yeah, we can look into that.
Um, so yeah, so kind of going back and looking at, you know, this is now from the Daily Diamond cap, you know, Wood, Thames, York, Leonard. I was one of the silly people who finished Turkey Stearns without Buck Leonard, so I may eventually kind of pick him up. This seems to like.
Well, I'd hold off on that and let's see if maybe the Diamond Gehrig might end up being better
Oh yeah.
at like a similar era.
Uh, Space Pope. This is all in the past week data from Astrid. Um,
Yeah. So
I was
right
just
now we're looking at projections based on all post May 15th data. So
yeah.
I think this was like the last week of Diamond Cap tournaments. I think we had like 6 or 7 of them.
And so yeah, if we want to come and look at here and look at the, you know, the top first baseman with our, you know, amazing sample size. Let's take like top 10. Yeah, you can kind of see Buck Leonard, Bill Silver, Eddie Murray. Actually, this isn't even sorted. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's sorted by my random metric. Let's sort descending by WRC. There we go. We got Thames, York, Leonard, Vaughn, Howard.
Okay, that's those are the names I would expect to see.
But apparently, playing Wood is the play. Um, you can play Wood everywhere. Yeah, because you want to play Walker and Duke in right field. Obviously.
Yeah, I think I want to play Walker, Duke, and Wood, and then I don't know who else I'm trying to squeeze into my outfield.
Jesse Barfield.
Okay.
I'm just playing
Yes.
some filters.
I don't know.
No, you're right. It does make sense. You want to play Eric Thames in left field, and you want to play.
No, I definitely don't want to do
James
that. I'm
Wood.
pretty happy. I'm pretty happy playing James Wooden left over Eric Thames. Thames plays perfectly good first base.
A-Rod? Yeah, tournament edition. Oh, we have Mr. Modeler himself in here. This is bad defensive modeling. If we want to look at offensive modeling, we can go look at here and we can see that, you know, A-Rod is the 4th best bat in the format at shortstop. Notwithstanding any sort of, you know, defensive analysis. And if you want to look at some defensive analysis, then, you know, maybe playing Fernando Tatis at shortstop would work. These defensive values, I have to work like with such little data. It's kind of hard.
I
Um,
just don't. My problem is, I don't like that Arod card, but I just don't see a diamond or even a gold card that is especially good defensively that has anything of a bat to. I'm sure we're going to get somebody to supplant him soon, um, but I don't know. I just like. I mean, I guess in a cap you can go down to some of like the silver cards that are really good defensively. Um, but I don't know. I just don't think I don't think that trade off makes sense.
I think 84 isn't the worst, but yeah.
I mean, normally in normal my view of the game, I would never play a shortstop with 84 range, but I just don't see who. I don't know. I just don't see an alternative that I'm comfortable with.
So if we come back here and we artificially restrict this to, let's say, 95, then we're looking at like Valentin, Reese, Carroll, good old Bob, uh, Hanson. But we're looking at like bats that after like Valentin and Reese, it it gets dire real quick.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you're spending a lot of cap points for if you're going with Valentina Reese, you're spending a lot of cap points and getting almost no offense and pretty good defense. I mean, at least if you're going down to like, Ferguson, you're getting even worse offense, but you're getting elite defense. Um, I don't know.
you could
I
go all
think
the
for
way down
now
to
I'm.
Granny Hamner.
Oh, geez.
He might get a hit during the tournament.
He might accidentally, like lean into one and get a hit by pitch or something.
Yeah. So if we come and look at here, let's see who's playing shortstop. So a lot of people are playing Jackson Merrill. Let's see if they're really playing shortstop. Jordan Lawler. Uh, that's not a card. Well, I guess it was on. Jordan Lawler's here, so he's really good VL. Um, Not so good, but it seems like some people are playing Pee Wee Reese, some people are playing Hall. A Rod is about average bat. Valentine apparently is a big wolf. So yeah,
Yeah, that's not surprising. Merrill's interesting because that's an even worse defensive card than A Rod, but I guess it's hitting, although that's pretty small sample size.
yeah.
But Lawler's an interesting option. I think is not that much. I think is I want to say is like 86 range, so not a
Oops.
huge upgrade on A Rod.
This looks like a worse card than A Rod.
So 87 range. Yeah, so it's a kind of a, you know
So there's a theory that some people hold, and it's that a lot of people don't play Diamond, and the people who play Diamond um, have a lot of room for improvement in their rosters. And I think people playing a lot of Jordan Lawler, even though Lawler is uh, Lawler is doing a lot of work offensively. I wonder if, as a community, we could do better playing cards that.
yeah, but I mean the problem is who like I don't see a card that you know I think Lawler, A Rod, I don't know if I'd play Merrill. That defense is too bad, too weak. Bill Hall, I like. That you're saving a lot of points and you're still getting,
How is the cap? like what is the cap
I don't
number?
think the cap is particularly tight, if I remember.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it makes sense to just kind of it makes
You
sense
know,
to maybe invest in worse defense. Can bring it up if you want.
it's
Bring up
an
what?
1825 cap. So
Oh yeah, 1825. Um, so
let me do some quick math.
yeah. So continuing on, I guess we can start
So it's a
looking at.
13.3 cap. So uh, not exactly not exactly a tight cap, but not super loose. Um, Chimera, I feel like your sheet told me to play Hanley at shortstop, which I didn't quite believe.
Um, I'll have to take a look at that. This is not daily low diamond. This is daily diamond. Ba, 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 ba. Just a moment. Models daily diamond cap. I think I downloaded this once. Yes, I did download this once. For shortstops, right?
Yeah.
Overall, the number one shortstop, if I could enable editing, is John Valentine.
Okay.
So, um, John Valentine is not in here, but I think these numbers are way off. But if you were to go here and look at this, John Valentine, number one. So, yeah, just sorting by or filtering by a infield range and modeling bats kind of works. It worked prior, and I guess it still works. Yeah, Wood, Walker in the outfield, Snyder if you're lucky to have him in center. The Joe DiMaggio is kind of interesting. I guess people are also now playing Beltran in center. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very splitty bat, I think.
Am I even in the diamond cap?
Yeah, why?
No, I am not. I am in the daily low diamond cap right now.
Oh. Oh, tournament you're actually playing in. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. So yeah. What am I looking at? Diamond cap. Why do I have two? Oh, because I had the old one. So yeah. What else do we want to
Okay.
look at? Let's look
Did you
at. I lost my link to that spreadsheet. Can you resend it to me? Thanks. um, A Rod and Valentine was like 30 to 45 runs or something. I could believe that. Um, I think there is something to be said about like the runs of stuff. So one thing I did want to kind of look up is let's look up our good friend Mr. Value City and what his lineup is. So he's got, I guess, Volpe at second, Wood somewhere, Thames, Bobby Abreu, Brett Beatty. Oh, he's got Manny, and he's the one playing Bill Hall. He's got Hoyles, and he's got Paskert, and he's got Dave Kingman.
okay? So he's got Thames at first, Volpe at second, Paul at short, Beatty at third, Abreu, Wood, and Hasker in the outfield. Boyles at catcher, and Manny at DH, I would assume.
Which kind of makes sense. Basically, Volpe and Woods is good. Thames is good. Abreu is good. Not a lot of surprises. Hope it wasn't a mistake. Uh-oh. Bill Hall played for...
Bill Hall played for everybody, I think.
Oh, yeah? There should be more
feel like-
snapshot Bill Hall cards. That's going to be my petition to Sporer for next week's content. Let's look at Mr. Minneapolis. So you're running both Walker and Wood. You are running a Rod. You're running Duke. I'm guessing in center.
I believe so.
Ozzie Smith played for Seattle.
I don't think so. Wow, Indy has not been good for me.
Mike Tyson, Solly Hoffman. So one thing, actually, like in terms of the Viffers, I thought I saw something. No, I was wondering if like the distribution of plate appearances was a little different, and it seems like between the Viffers and like your team, they both, your team's probably gonna have more plate appearances, but it seems like his get a little bit more mushed. Like it almost seems like he might be platooning. Like I guess you have 5 close to min players.
Well, I have Endy and Hoyles that I think I switched out like midway through the week.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that's why you're seeing, they each have like half the plate appearances, and
Got
then I think that's the factor.
But
I
like,
think I think like 3 or 4 days ago I switched to.
I guess he's
Endy.
running Zanino, Kingman, Dyson, and Rabbit. The Dyson I'm assuming defensive is kind of important. So we don't want to eat into much of the main show, because I would imagine it's on shortly, or it's on now, so don't want to eat too much into that. They are not live. Is Rich streaming tonight? Not Rich. TJ.
That would be TJ.
Well, Tuesday Brave stream. A Champions off season begins. So yeah, that's starting soon.
Do you want to? Did you get the link to for the slides for the tournament data?
Yeah, we can do that. So if I do rankings. Okay, so we'll end on that note. Except, let me see. Can I do? We're doing this live. How do I do this? Sources, browser source, no, window source, window capture, add source. Nope. Add a new source. Slides to window. Here we go. Oh dear. Here we go. The magic of live. There. That's probably good enough. Maybe I can do this. And if we do that, then we do this. Should be live.
Okay. Uh, so basically, we have less data for the daily and weekly tournaments than we did last year. Last year they gave us those PDFs every week with, how everybody did in every tournament, and I couldn't like figure out a way to put together all the data, but I at least like was tracking wins um, for the weeklies and stuff like that. So this year we just have basically what's the what we can get from the in-game ranking. So I've been keeping track of like the top 10 um, every week. So this is all four of the diamond formats. This is the top 10 um, in for each week. So you can see there have been 8 weeks so far. Vifers has been first place every week, um, and then the last column, is just multiplying people's finishes by how many perfect points you get um, for for finishing first every week. Um, so um, we don't have time for all 10 slides, so we're just going to show you a few. But Diamond, since we were talking about it, um, just put that up and how ridiculous it is that Biffers has managed to win every week. And a lot of good teams, making the top 10, at least somewhat consistently. Um, and what was the next slide? Weekly?
Yeah, weekly.
Okay. Yeah. So, again, a lot of good players. That's weird. I don't know why it didn't. I thought I sorted by perfect points won, so I'm not sure. Oh, I guess now it's sorted by number of top 10 finishes. So Springboks have finished in the top 10 7 out of 8 weeks. I've done 6 out of 8. A few teams at 5. A few teams at half. Um, so yeah, that news is definitely true. There's a lot of people who try and play a lot of formats, to either qualify or they just pick and choose, but for it makes it easier, especially to like, sneak into the top 10. Like in Diamond, I think I've made the top 10 3 times, even though I only play like 10 or 12 of the diamonds per week. Um, and so, there's if you're trying to accumulate some of these weekly bonuses, not that hard. In some of the formats, it's not that hard to sneak into the top 10 and get the 15,000 or even more without having to play all the tournaments. And then even in some of these formats, like weekly, I'm only playing like I don't know 16 to 18 a week. Um, and some of the other like open, I think I only play like 20 out of 28, and can usually be competitive. So there's definitely an opportunity to pick up a lot of these weekly points, depending on how much you want to spread out and try and qualify for all 10, because you really have to devote a lot of slots to tournaments that fire very far in advance, fill very far in advance of when they fire, in order to try and qualify all the formats.
It's definitely gotten, I would say, worse. Like silver filled on Friday, Monday silver filled like Friday night or Saturday
Oh yeah,
morning
the
or something
weekly
like that.
tournaments have been filling very early. Um,
Golden
um,
sombrero filled just earlier. Um, so so yeah, it's a bit rough. Then
yeah,
next
I
we
mean
have
this week, this period, I would think would be a little bit easier to try and if you want to try and qualify in all 10, because there's an extra week. Um, I
right.
didn't. Um, I didn't bother to try, um, but it probably was a little bit easier, even though you needed more points. You just had a little more time to do it. But
I might
And we'll
try
see.
to get into wildcard with my without entering any wildcard tournaments. But
I think you might have to enter at least one in order to qualify. That would be pretty cool if you qualify based on one tournament, though.
that would be pretty funny. Um, daily PDs.
Okay, so Khan has been dominating this one with 4 wins already. Especially impressive because I know week 4 and then possibly even week 8, he didn't even play them because he was trying to qualify in weekly PDs. The weeks that he's tried to qualify, he's done very well. Daily PDs, and it's has pretty much dominated the field. Um, the from last year, PDs, it was much harder to consistently make the top 10. Um, that was certainly fairly rare. I think to be at the top of the list last year in like over like 36 weeks was only like 10 top 10 finishes. Now this year is a lot easier with the extra spot. Is that you're playing a lot more of them in the week, so even though there's more variance in PDs, just being able to play a lot more of them, the top players are able to kind of you know have more solid results. Um, and then weekly PD is even more. It's still much more like last year that it's really hard to consistently make the top 10 just because again you can play more of them this year, but not that. So somebody making 4 this early is pretty impressive. We'll see
Yeah,
how long.
they're leading period 2 actually. The
Okay.
Deberkin.
Yeah,
So
making 3 top 10s that's not at all surprising.
I think they have like a 1 point lead.
Okay. And then real quick before we get to TJ, the last slide is just going to be overall, looking at in all the formats. So if you go over to the right side, I've got in the far right column, I've got total perfect points earned um, from all 10 formats over the first 8 weeks. And then next to that is how many categories people have finished in the top 10 in. So a lot of people with 5. Nobody's tried to get to 6 yet, or nobody's pulled off 6. They may very well have tried. And then total top 10 finishes. The next slide from that. So, and I think so far the Vippers and Diamonds. Um, I've uh, and I've made the top 10 every week in Wildcard and Open. Um, Dragofred has made it every week in Open. And I think there's one more player that's made it every week that's not on the slide because it's like the only format he played. I think someone in silver has made it every week.
Robert Cat,
Probably Robert Cat. Yeah.
because yeah, they had a pretty big lead when we were going through that earlier.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll show some of the other formats next time we stream, and I'll update it every week. If anybody has any questions about any of these slides with the data, um, that would be feel free to DM me and I'll happy to be on. Um,
So yeah,
so I think that's it for tonight. Thank you for hanging in there with our disorganized nonsense. We pride
headsets
ourselves on
dying,
having
and
no idea what we're doing.
we're a bunch of professionals. I apologize, I'm dumb for timing you out. But yeah, so yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks Aster. This is great. Thanks Evil Smoky Bear. I know we spoke a little bit about defensive modeling. It was really bouncing ideas off of people that I really appreciate. And even though it doesn't work well, it's something. And sometimes that's better than nothing. So yeah, So thanks everyone, and I'll talk to you all later. Oh, and Tournament Lab. Aster. That's supposed to happen soon, right?
Yeah, we're probably gonna get a refresh soon. I'm think that's gonna be announced sometime soon. I don't know when.
Maybe Thursday. We don't. I don't know any knowledge. I'm just speculating, but
Yeah, I think speculating it says it's possible, but I don't know. I just was told, tell me what the new format is, and I did, and when they're going to use that information, I don't really know.
okay.
So hopefully we'll find out soon.
If you
I
have
think it's a
ideas
fun
for
format.
Tournament Lab, let us know.
Yeah, we're happy to listen for for the next one. Hopefully we can change it up a little bit more often going forward, so we can try some different formats. I think that's about it.
Okay. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Night.
Raid. Oh, use raid. We're going to raid. Bye.